We would have had a show to you on Sunday, but apparently I had a bit of a lift. There was technical issues. We did a great show. Zels was at his incredible best. And I listened to the recording, and there is one thing about having a lift, but not for 45 minutes. So we sorted out the technical issues. Imad, thank you for that. But for the Stormers, it's 2005 sign-off. For the Springboks, it's 2005 sign-off. The Boks won in the world. The Stormers won in the Vodacom United Rugby Championship, 7 from 7, 9 from 9 for the 2025-26 season. They've taken a well-deserved break. But Zels, we'll get to your beloved Stormers soon. The Sharks, Durban, Bulls, traditional South African derby. Great to see a capacity crowd in Durban. The kind of thriller that we love in South Africa. Not a hell of a lot of tries, but a lot of mongrel, a lot of tension. And at 14-12, it was anyone's game, although it shouldn't have been going into those last few minutes. And a moment of Jaden Antoine Dupont magic. And it all just cleaning up and the Sharks winning. And JP Peterson, how many Sharks coaches can say they're unbeaten in the Investec Champions Cup and in the URC?
I love your use of stats there, mate. Absolutely. Look, it's great to see JP make such a fast start to his time at the Sharks. And for me, like what really stood out this weekend was the return of rugby in South Africa. I mean, I really, really enjoyed the way the referees stayed out of the game. They let the players decide the big moments. I thought the two refs in the two South African derbies were great. And, you know, this country really does produce good match officials. I think if there was a match officials World Cup, mate, we'd be multiple time winners. So kudos to everybody involved. It was lovely to see something close to what the rugby is that you and I remember of yesteryear, where the guys just give it hammer and tongs, and the best team walks off the winners. So really enjoyed it. Sharks and Bulls was fantastic, mate. It was great to see Andre Pollard in a Bulls jersey at Kings Park. Also another sort of great reminiscence, I suppose. Even though the quality of that game wasn't always fantastic, it was engaging. It was a thrilling contest. Sharks came away the winners, mate. Bulls have still got some work to do on that defense. If anything, I thought the Bulls probably had their plan right, but they just needed some support from when they didn't have the ball, from their defense. I think if they tighten things up there, they're going to be much better. Great start for JP. My man, Jaden Hendrickson, back in the mix, mate. And the last time we had a chat, I said to you, if the Sharks are going to be successful this year, if they end up the season having turned things around, who will have played 10? You said to me, George Whitehead. He came on in the second half, mate, replaced Jordan Hendrickson, and the Sharks scored 14 unanswered points. His combination with Jaden Hendrickson in the halfbacks I thought was very, very good. What do you say about that, mate?
Yeah, I just thought that it's, again, old head, George Whitehead. He's been around. He understands the value of field position, and to always borrow from the wonderful Warren Brosnan, he knows where prime real estate is on the field. In those conditions, yes. He also realizes that it's bloody hard to score 8 meters running the ball back. Invariably, you're going to spill it after 8 meters. It's always so humid in Durban. You've got to play field position, play territory. And I just feel with a guy like Jordan Hendricks, his natural instinct is to attack. His natural instinct is to throw the miracle ball. And I think if there's an area of his game he's got to work on, it's game management. It's got to understand is when you go, you go. And when the conditions don't allow for it, you don't need to play it. Especially when you've got Andre the Giant on your inside, or on your outside, and you've got a Sia Khaleesi on your inside. You pop that pass to Andre playing flat, he's going to make yardage for you all the time. And you've got a Grant Williams who can snipe at 9, or you've got a Jaden Hendrickson who really was one of the better kicking performances I've seen from him from the base of the scrum, and attacking kicks with a 50-50 was always going to favor his kick and the chase as opposed to kind of no man's land and you put yourself on the defensive. So rousing speeches from Andre the Giant before the game. I mean, he's been fantastic since we turned him, or Rassie turned him into a flanker who now loves to just mix it. So you don't know if he's in the forwards or the backs. All you know is he's making yards, and that's just wonderful. And I think it's the change of leadership there, a fresh voice. with the old hand like Sia Khaleesi still in the background. He really emptied the tank, went past 70 minutes, scored a crucial try as well. That's back-to-back tries for him. And I just felt that it was two teams devoid of confidence, very low on confidence in terms of their results this season, but certainly not low on intent when it comes to South African derby. They really got stuck into each other. And I echo what you say. It's just great to see Andre Pollard back playing in a derby game, playing in front of a capacity crowd and wearing that Bulls jersey, where he started his career and he's going to end his career. I still think he's going to be massive for any Bulls turnaround, any Bulls fortunes over the next 12 to 18 months.
100%. No, Andre Pollard will be central to that. We spoke about his handling a couple of weeks ago, and that was on display again this week. I don't have any insight into how the Bulls are operating, but you think Andre Pollard needs to be pretty central to their thinking and their planning. And as much as I'm loving Andre Pollard's handling skills, I do want to see him take the ball to the line and do what he does best. It's fantastic he's added that bow to his string, but I think his value is as a flat-lying 10 that really asks questions of the defense. He's a relatively big unit for the position, and obviously his goal kicking, which he did well on the weekend again. So look, the Bulls have got all the pieces, mate. You look at that squad. It's if this was EA Sports Rugby, you'd be like, geez, I've got the best squad in the league. They really have some fantastic players there. But I think, like I mentioned, just technically they probably just need to ramp up that defense a little bit, tighten it up. And I think a lot of other pieces will fall into place there for them. So I expect the Bulls to bounce back. I would say they deserve to be higher on the table. And then great win for the Sharks. Hopefully they're back to winning ways now. And then the Lions, mate, I don't know if it's time to talk about it, but I thought the Lions did very well in Cape Town. And they've quietly crept up as a real contender for the South African Shield, even though they didn't win at the weekend. They're a team that can push the best. I mean, the Stormers are unbeaten and the Lions gave them a good run.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the Lions now. Just to close on the Bulls. I've expected more of the Bulls. Defensively, we've wondered what the hell is going on there. When we do look at the squad, though, the 23, they've really put out the 23 that they believe can win the title. And I think from February onwards, you're going to see that 23 there. They're out of the Investec Champions Cup. They know they won't progress. They'll go into the Challenge Cup, hopefully, if they get a point or two. Maybe they're out of that one as well. And then all the focus is on the URC. But when all the Springbok wrestling protocols are done, which will be by February, and you look at the 25, 26 players that they all fit that they can put out there, that's the team that can go anywhere in this competition and win a playoff game. So I really do expect them to come with the last 6 rounds of the competition, of the league, to come with a strong challenge, not to be dismissed by anyone. When they do come to Cape Town on the 3rd of January, it's going to be a hell of a battle again, especially when those two teams play. Form goes out the window. So again, the defense, as you say, they conceded 3 tries. It's a lot stronger than it's been. Still not quite there. But I wouldn't give up on them. If you're from the north, Jean-Andre Joubert, Ace Key, our social media manager, don't give up on your Bill. I blow Bill, eet nie van die vloer af nie. I blow Bill, ken nie van verloor af nie. Not 7 times in a row. So they done 6 from 6 in all competitions, and that's not winning. Get into the DHL Stadium in Cape Town, the Lions. We always knew that would be a tough one. They've had the wood over the Stormers at Ellis Park. They were the team that beat the Stormers in that inaugural season. They beat them at home, and then the Stormers went on this incredible winning run, and they haven't lost there now, I think in 4 or 5 games ago, 4 games against the Lions. But there is that derby element, before we get too carried away about a team's performance, because I look at the Lions and I think one of my biggest frustrations is, how did you not put Newcastle away when you had everything to do that? How did you not put Benetton away at Ellis Park and let them come back and score 15 unanswered points in the last 7 minutes and lose that game? How can you be so good at Loftus in the opening 40 minutes? How can you be so competitive in the first 30 minutes in Cape Town? And that opening sequence, 15 offloads, just looking like such a well-drilled machine. And then those lapses come, heads drop, and they kind of concede 2 or 3 tries that they shouldn't. So it's. I know you love that Lions team. You've worn their jersey with pride in the past. They started losing. They asked you to please take it off, but but they're like the bridesmaid always. They don't quite get it. They don't quite get the attention. and then they give you a performance or a flutter of a performance, and you think they're there. They can definitely knock people over, and then boom, not. But I really thought they gave a great account for themselves. Deservedly up at halftime. I thought they should have been up by a lot more. And then kind of boom, boom, the left, right, the Anthony Joshua to Jake Paul. And the only difference is the Lions actually got up a bit, because there is something special about the Stormers squad. Even when there's an indifference, I said in the Sunday Times piece, they were feeble and frantic at times, but then just fantastic. I mean, you're closest to it, Zels. You've been in the mix. You don't even know what it feels like to lose as being part of the Stormers. What is it that makes these Oaks at the moment so special?
Yeah, mate. It's very difficult to sort of refine it to a magic fact, I suppose. But yeah, the teams that Dobbo coaches definitely have I mean, I shudder to use the word culture, but culture slash belief in the mission, and I think what the Stormers have got right, and what Dobbo's got right, what the management team has got right, is that this group of players, there's a role for every single player in it. There's nobody there who's a third stringer, who's the emergency break glass option. Everybody has a role to play. Nobody's an afterthought. And the competition for places is stiff, even if it's not, there's no tension. There's a real competition for places. Every time somebody gets an opportunity to play, they try to put their best foot forward for the team. And, like I've said before, Yuri Matia, probably a bit underrated. He's the leading point scorer in the URC. And the Stormers have just extended arguably the hottest property in rugby at the moment, Sasha, Feinberg and Gomezulu, who to my mind is the best flower off in the world. So, Yuri Matia would be a second stringer at any other club, where you have Sasha, but at the Stormers, he's a feature player, and he was in the vanguard again on the weekend, and he has a key role to play in the Stormers campaign and for the Stormers squad. So I think that sort of mentality where everybody knows they're a valued and important member of the squad is huge. And I think that's where some of that fight comes from, and some of that belief. And one thing that's always been true of Dobbo squads in all the time that I've been involved with them on and off is their ability to play for 85 minutes and to have the skill set to play for 85 minutes. They fame having forwards who can pass, and the interplay from all 15 players on the field, I think, plays a huge role in that. So another gut check moment. The Stormers almost are becoming a team where they kind of need to take a punch in the nose to get into the fight, and then they're at their best again. And I suppose that's something that you'd want to fix to make sure that we get fast starts and stay in control of things. But the Lions really did put their best foot forward on the weekend. I thought they played some great rugby. They're intelligent. I think, if anything, probably the penalty count hurt them a bit, and obviously the scrum dominance from the Stormers. And the Stormers did a great job of, when they had an opportunity, they converted it. Dylan Mart's try is a great example of that. So two great South African teams going for it. Like you say, those SA derbies are a great leveler. And the Stormers came away with the win at home, back in Cape Town again after quite a bit, and looking forward to that post-Christmas New Year's match against the Bulls.
Yeah, you talk, Zals, about there is a 1, 2, and 3, but there isn't a 1, 2, and 3. So, and I'd look at the halfbacks, for example. Kobus Reiner got his first start in Cape Town at the first opportunity. Imi Khan started against Bayonne. Steph Ungara started and done well. So those are 3 nines that can play, and they can play with behind any pack. Then you go
exactly.
You look at the changing from the back 5 more than anything else of the scrum. Not so much the front 5, the back 5. How they integrate the loose forwards, those who can play lock, play flank. And then I just, during the game as well, I was privileged to watch with my good mate Monty, and we'll get to him now, who was the invited icon to meet and greet the team, and take them into their change room. It's a wonderful initiative that Duncan Cruikshanks and Dobbo have started, where they honor and they recognize players who have done amazing things for the Stormers in the past. Monty, during his time with the Stormers, 58 matches, 64 for Western Province, obviously 102 tests in his 330 matches. And he looked at me and he was like, what do you think? And we both said, well, look at the pack. Look at the we're not talking about the starting pack. Look at the bench. And when all 6 of them came on, we felt the dust had settled. Things would happen. We went inside to have a nice castle lager. We looked at the TV. They scored. We stayed. They scored again. And we went outside. The Lions scored. We went back inside to the TV and thought, being as superstitious as we are, we would kind of just wait and listen to the roar 20 meters away. And then we knew there was a knock on from the Lions or a penalty. But a hell of an anxious last 3 minutes when they got it back to 34-27. I really enjoyed it because they deserved to be in that game right until the 79th minute. But what was a big feature for me, and we're talking about Monty, is just the love that he has for the Stormers, the excitement that he showed. You'll see it on the screen in the change room, sitting in Warwick Galant's seat position in the change room. And he spoke to me as if he was a bloke who'd never been in a change room. Yet he's been 330 times he's been in a change room, and 102 of those for the Springboks, our first ever Centurion, the record holder for Springbok rugby. The guy who had 35 points in a test match, Sasha, got the 37. He celebrated that. People asked him, how do you feel about Sasha breaking your record? He said, why? Because he's from Bishops. Being the sax boy that he is, he said he thought it was wonderful. He thinks Andre Pollard will break his overall record. And he said, what 2 great talents to kind of break those records. The one record he said that could never be broken was he was first over the line for 100 tests as a Springbok. So he'll always be there and thereabouts. But Johan Leroux, the owner, brought up Sasha to the Stormers Lounge. Got a couple of pics with him and Monty. They got to chat a bit. Sasha's signature, such a statement from the owners, Red Dizer Investments, from Dobbo, excuse me, in his recruitment. I sound like Nick Mallet now. In his recruitment drive. We know we got Damian Vincent to 27. We'll probably, hopefully extend him. You got the big man, Wilco Low, coming next season. Kobus Reinach has been a sensation and a revelation since he's arrived. Sasha was signed up until 27 to be able to extend that to 2029, and Dobbo speaks about 2029, the big project. By that time, the Storm has been consistently at the top table of club rugby in the world, hopefully not one of the number 1 teams, hopefully by that stage having won the Investec Champions Cup and added more titles in the URC, but more than that, playing good rugby and consistently winning. So I thought it was a great expression of where the Stormers are at the moment. They were imperfect to get the perfect 7 from 7 at the end of the URC stint for them until the new year. And then 9 from 9, 30,000 people came out at 3:30 in the afternoon. It was blazing hot. The field was in an awful condition. Shame on you, the city. Both teams had to play on it, though. It wasn't ideal, but just such a lack of gees at the stadium, such a good vibe. And the first time that people could see the Stormers play again, the last time it's been October. And I just felt it was a dangerous game for the Stormers because those who started that game obviously wanted to give back. They wanted to showcase what the faith and the trust that people had put in them. And then into that hectic sun, Evan Roos drops the ball. 49 seconds later, it's 7-0. Local boy from Sax, Chris Smith. How many times have I said Sax? Chris Smith converted. And all of a sudden, they were under the pump. But as you say, Zels, they've got the ability to come back and score points in the big moments. The one thing that I just felt, and you will know better than most, I just felt they went away from that very definitive balance in their kicking game that we've seen for the last 5 or 6 matches. And there seemed to be a little bit too much play between the two tens. Would that be a fair observation from the Stormers Lounge?
Yeah, look, I think if that's going to happen, it's going to happen against the Lions. You know, when you play the Lions, they dangle a lot of run bait, and I think that is a real threat to any team that plays them. They want you to take them on and try and go around it because they are very dangerous at those wide breakdowns. And, you know, the faster the game is, the more they're into it. So I think that is always a threat against the Lions, especially in a local derby where the guys are trying to prove their biceps are bigger than the other guy. You know how it is. But I thought that the Stormers sort of reined it in and reeled it in when they needed to. I would agree. I think there are moments in that game where we should have put boot to ball a bit more. But at the end of the day, the message got onto the field and the players made the adjustments they needed to get the win. So definitely, I think the recipe that the Stormers have applied in the first 7 weeks, you know, it's a winning recipe as proved borne out by their record. And I think we just got to stick to those fundamentals. And the guys are obviously all on the same page. And the Stormers' ability to break it open when the opportunity presents itself is peerless. I mean, got some of the best X Factor players out there, and I think when we match that with intelligent sort of strategy tactics, the Storms are to date unbeaten. So fantastic.
Now, it's getting a lot of text messages during the game. I've learned never to go onto social media during the game. You look quite foolish at the end of the game. People who were acting in the first 10 minutes are the players of the match, that kind of thing. But just on normal WhatsApp messaging, people were saying, I see Zels in the coaching box. We're comforted. We know it's going to be okay. But what is he writing? What are those messages that he's writing? So what were you writing?
No, mate. So people would have seen me scribbling on that notepad during the game. I've actually just taken the coffee orders. I know Rita takes a latte. Jungi likes a black coffee, and Dobbo takes a triple espresso there. So I was just taking coffee orders and making sure the guys got their coffee in before half time.
I said, Davy doesn't take a coffee.
No, he's on the field, mate. I can't get it to him.
And Norm takes anything.
Mate, Norm will never drink a coffee. I can take him a cup of soup.
Extra fries to go now. Just tackle. But no, it was wonderful kind of just seeing that interaction and that mix. I had the experience obviously like of having Gil and Monty and his partner Doris in the Stormers lounge, and then I had to file a copy for Sunday Times straight afterwards. So I went to the back where the kitchen area is, where they're bringing in all the food from all the suites, just to try and get a Wi-Fi connection. Monty, as a trusted mate does, came in there, sat there with me while I was pounding out a quick 500 words, bringing me a castle to drink, chatting away to me, asking me if he was disturbing me. Do I need a quote from him? So no, I don't need any quotes from him. I just need a hotspot. I just need a hotspot at this stage. Eventually, I said to the woman in the kitchen, "Can you just give him something to eat?" So they said, "All they've got is a lamb shank." He said, "A lamb shank? It's like 40 degrees outside." A lamb shank. We eventually got the password, got the copy in, and it was about the Stormers taming the Lions. But it just added to this incredible buzz. Then I took the wrong way out. I wanted to show them the shortcut, and obviously we got lost. There may be an image of that. Monty and I in the car park looking for the car at the stadium. Went to Hammy's. Had a good hour there watching the Sharks do their business against the Bulls and just seeing the love there is for South African rugby again. Some of the lads from Vuza Academy in Langa, they were there. They love the show, Zels. They love your biceps. They love the fact that you were the Stormers. They've encouraged me to work hard this in 2026 and add some muscle tone to my arms. I said you are about 20 years younger. Yeah, they're the guys who watch you, mate. They watch you religiously. So there's such goodwill towards South African rugby at the moment. The Box 11 from 13 ended at number 1 in the world. Started the year there, ended the year there. And it's just great to see the Stormers in the place they are, because that's where most people expect them to be given their potential. And then to have a weekend where you see the Sharks win again in front of a capacity crowd, Bulls putting up a performance, and the Lions right in it till the death. It just spoke so positively to everything we talk about, the ethos of South African rugby, that it is alive domestically. And yes, we may struggle when the foreign teams come here, but in terms of crowd attendance, but then that could be economics. People could be saying it's Christmas, I can only pick one game, I'm picking this one. I can't pick 2 games and some Christmas gifts. So the general mood afterwards, I mean, it's van selfspreekend, as they would say in Afrikaans, but just one of relief, one of euphoria within the squad.
Yeah, no, I think the Stormers are jubilant, mate. In the change room afterwards, obviously celebrating Neert's 100th cap. It was a special moment, his dad handing the cap over to him, and it was a great moment. And nice to be able to remember that milestone in his career with the win at home. But yeah, I mean, it's a hell of an arduous opening run. You know, you've got these 7 URC games, you've got the 2 Champions Cup games, the Stormers unbeaten across the board. The boys have done incredibly well, and it says something to do that, to have that record and at times not be playing your best rugby. I mean, it really does give you a glimpse at what you could achieve if you start putting it all together all the time. So I think there's a sense of satisfaction at the record and enough incentive to want to improve on the last performance to make sure that the guys are laser focused when they get back to the HPC to prep for the Bulls. So all in all, I think spirits are high, but I don't think anybody's floating on clouds. So I think we're in the perfect space.
Yeah, I don't think there's time enough to float on clouds. I mean, you and I spoke about it. You get to this time of the year, a couple of days before Christmas. Normally, we wouldn't be talking about rugby. We wouldn't have spoken about it for the last 3 weeks. We're talking about a cricket test coming to
Cricket.
Newlands. We'd be talking about the surf, the sun, and the fact that you're going to Somerset West with the family for a week just to enjoy. Now it's still full on. The Lions are playing against the Sharks. There's a whole full round of URC. The reason that there is no Bulls game at Loftus against the Stormers is because of lack of interest in Pretoria. No, it's not because of lack of interest. It's because no one,
I was going to say, mate, what?
because all the Bull supporters are in Hermanus at this time of the year. So they decided to wait till March. They decided to wait till March when they had all these Springboks back, and the Stormers kindly said, "Okay, we'll take it." So if they can basically get a week off, so the boys are off for this week. Talking about the Bulls, their coach, Johan Ackerman, a favorite of ours. We just hope his fortunes do change. But he caught up with Mike Greenway at Kings Park on Saturday, and Mike presented him with the Fireside Springbok, which is one of the two books.
Beautiful.
Box and the Fireside Springbok, because Akker's features in it, and there's a feature about the Sharks, and Akker's at the Sharks saying how passionate they are, and they're going to turn things around. So, and that was 20 odd years ago. I must say, Mike and Akker's have both aged particularly well. Akker's looks younger than when he played. So that was a nice thing. If you are going to get a Christmas gift and you do love rugger, you've got to get Mike Greenway's books. Honestly, support the guy. It's after that, you'll know everything about Springbok rugby in the most entertaining way. Another Christmas gift. SA Rugby magazine, free Digimag. It's worth 489 Rand that you don't have to pay for, and you get 12 editions. You can read some wonderful copy in there. Simon Borchard doing a fantastic job. And then you also go into a draw to win 100,000 Rand. And that draw gets made in next June. We may even get you in, Zels, to make the draw.
Hey.
You know, it won't go to Brackenfell. And then with Castle Lager, one of our big supporters, 130,000 Rand, the Legacy Cans, rally your squad. If you do watch soccer, it's AFCON now, go big. If you watch cricket, we know what's happening. It's the SA20 will be starting in the next couple of days. My Cape Town, MI Cape Town, however you pronounce it, they were at the Stormers win. And there was a great picture, Dane Piet and Monty together. The one did the business on the De Villiers field, the other one on the Memorial. Both are the last Sax boys to have played Test cricket and Test rugby for South Africa and in the last couple of years. So they got another 19 mentions in for
I was going to say, what school did they go to?
Game in 2026. Zalzi, there's been a highlight for you this year. Before we start wrapping up, what would have...
Mate, I would say probably the highlight came after the lowlights. Very disappointed with the Eden Park test, and a week later the boys did something incredible. And I think that game, that performance, that result will live long in the memory. Box absolutely superb this year, even though there were moments where there were little... and I think you can put that down to Russie's massive depth-building operation. South African rugby's in a great space. We've got an army of guys between the age of 28 and 35. I think the next World Cup is going to be a lot of fun. Russie's sticking around. They've extended his contract. So there's reason to believe that the Springboks may not only win 3 World Cups in a row, mates. They may win 4 World Cups in a row. Who knows? But we're tracking well. The South African franchises, have had mixed fortunes. But we do have a team at the very top of the table, and the other 3 teams have shown signs of life and the potential to climb up towards that. So let's hope 2026 we hit the ground running and continue to be the country that leads the game internationally and regionally.
All right, last one for you on the players. Your list. I don't want you to pick your player of the year. I think that's unfair. But internationally, pick me your 3 Springboks of the year.
Oh, that is a very, very tough call to make on the fly, mate. I'm obviously going to say Sasha. I think he's been phenomenal, even though he didn't play a hell of a lot of Test rugby. Just the things that guy's doing on the field is incredible. Um, for his value, I think Wilco Low is, you can't overstate his value to the box, and it will come. You'll see it with the Bulls as well, and eventually with the Stormers when he makes the move. I think he's been absolutely immense. I think Ruan Nokia had a huge year in terms of his sort of showcasing his value to the squad. Kobus Reinach, mate, had a career season. And I got to see that closing speed of his in person in PE with you, mate. That wonderful trip up the coast. It was fantastic to see him go full speed, the value that he adds. Across the board, Andre Esterhuizen. I mean, I'm going to run out of time here, mate. Andre Esterhuizen.
Mate, I asked for three. You got to narrow them down to three. Can you?
I'm narrowing it down as you speak. So I'm going to go Sasha. I'm going to go Andre Esterhuizen, and I'm going to go Wilco Low. That's my three.
Okay, those are your three. I'm going to go, and look, Wilco, it's hard for me to leave him out, but I had to leave him out for the World Player of the Year, Malcolm Marx. So you forgot about him. But Andre the Giant definitely, Sasha definitely, and Malcolm Marx for me leading from the front. But like you say, you could pick one of 20. They were being that good. It's been a hectic year. It's been a wonderful year, and it's a time of thanks. So we've got to thank SA Rugby Magazine, our behemoth partner, our digital partner, for all the support and love that they give us. And to our sponsors, Steco, they've been there from the opening bell. Thanks, Mike Sharman and Retroviral, Auto General, Toyota, Pick and Pay, ASAP. They've been there. Macron, our clothing partner, and then Castle, who have come on board for the last few months. And it's been wonderful to have them on board, especially promoting their brew, promoting their legacy can search, that 130,000 Rand prize. But the biggest thank you goes to everyone who's listening to us, watching us. You guys tune in without hesitation. We are overwhelmed at how many you run up to us and scream box by 10. Love the show. I'm never amazed at how many people come up and ask me about how does Zels get such big biceps. I'm never amazed at how many come and say their girlfriends and wives are watching the show now, but only because of Zels. So, I mean, you have an iconic status there, Zels. We're into our 80th show, and this is our last one for the year. We'll be back post the Bulls against the Stormers. 80th show, and we've had 25 million views during those 79 preceding shows.
Wow.
So the biggest thank you for me is to everyone who tunes in. We love you. We appreciate you. What started as a bit of fun for Zels and myself, courtesy of Zels. It was his idea. We talk so much rugby. We talk so much kind of indifference and difference about rugby. Why don't we just put on a camera, put on a mic and do it? And that was 2.5 years ago. And we are like over 80 million views. So thanks to you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you and your family.
Mate, outstanding, mate. Outstanding. No, look, so from my side, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, we sound like we're signing off here. We're never coming back, but just it's been an absolute pleasure. I feel like I'm very privileged to have that sort of front row seat to see how your brain works, mate. Your ability to I mean, you can't remember where your wallet is, mate, but you remember the game flow from a game in 1993, who scored first and why. It's an incredible thing to see, mate. And I think your storytelling is a huge part of the show and why people relate to it and enjoy it so much. So brilliant stuff, mate. And again, echoing your sentiment there, thank you to everybody that tunes in, and especially to the people that come up and say how's it and give some constructive sort of feedback or have some comments to make. It really is humbling to, you know, have strangers walk up and they feel like they know you and they want to have a chat. So it's been fantastic. Everybody keep safe over Christmas. All the best for 2026 and stay tuned.
And for those of you who still believe in the big man with the big white beard and the red overcoat, if your chimney's wide enough, he can get down there. We hope you get lots and lots and lots of Christmas gifts. If you are not into Christmas, just be safe over the festive season. We'll chat again in the new year. To the Lions and the Sharks, enjoy the last hit out. Zels and I will be giving our preview predictions there on our WhatsApp channel. And to everyone, much love and thank you.